Emma was the perfect student. Every detail of her life had been planned, from college to her future career. She believed success came from following the rules. On the same school trip was Dean, a quiet boy who preferred staying alone. Most students ignored him, but deep inside, he carried the pain of losing someone he loved. One evening, the class boarded a boat to celebrate their final night on a beautiful tropical island. Music filled the air, lights reflected across the sea, and everyone believed it would be a night to remember. Then, without warning, strong waves rocked the boat. In the confusion, Emma lost her balance and fell into the dark ocean. Dean didn't hesitate. He jumped into the water and swam toward her. Together, they reached a small drifting boat, but the current pulled them farther and farther away from everyone else. As the sunrise appeared, they looked around in silence. There was no rescue boat, no people, only an endless blue sea. Hours later, the waves carried them to a mysterious tropical island. They had no phones, no food, and no way to call for help. Their greatest adventure, and greatest challenge, had just begun. This is an original script inspired by the survival genre rather than a retelling of Blue Lagoon, The Awakening. Emma and Dean slowly realized that rescue wasn't coming anytime soon. The island looked beautiful, but every step revealed a new danger. Thick jungle, strange animal sounds, and sharp rocks reminded them that survival would not be easy. Their first challenge was finding fresh water. After hours of searching, Dean noticed birds flying toward the center of the island. He followed them and discovered a small waterfall flowing into a clear pond. With clean water secured, they searched for food. Emma found wild coconuts lying on the beach, while Dean gathered fallen branches to build a small shelter before nightfall. As the sun disappeared, the island became silent. The only sounds were crashing waves and insects hidden in the trees. Emma admitted she had never spent a single night without electricity or her phone. Fear began to take over. Dean calmly lit a fire by striking dry stones together and using dried leaves. The warm flames pushed back the darkness and gave them hope. That night, sitting beside the fire under a sky full of stars, the two strangers began sharing their stories. For the first time, they stopped judging each other and started becoming friends. But deep inside the jungle, a pair of glowing eyes watched their camp from the shadows. They had survived their first day. The real test was only beginning. The next morning, Emma woke to strange footprints surrounding their camp. Whatever had watched them during the night was gone, but it could return at any time. Dean suggested they move their shelter to higher ground, where they could see the beach and watch for rescue boats. As they explored deeper into the island, they discovered a hidden cave behind a waterfall. Inside were old wooden tools, a broken fishing net, and faded markings carved into the stone. Someone had lived there long ago. The cave became their new shelter. Over the next few days, they learned how to catch fish, collect rainwater, and cook over a fire. Every challenge made them stronger. Emma, once afraid of the wilderness, began to enjoy the simple life. Dean, who had always kept his feelings hidden, slowly opened up about the loss that had changed his life. One afternoon, while standing on a cliff, Emma spotted something on the horizon. A ship. They quickly lit a huge signal fire, hoping the thick smoke would be seen. The ship seemed to turn toward the island, then slowly disappeared into the distance. Hope faded once again, but neither of them was ready to give up. They had survived together this far, and they believed that one day, someone would finally find them. Several weeks passed, and Emma and Dean had transformed the island into their home. Every morning, they climbed the highest cliff, hoping to spot a passing ship. Most days brought only endless blue water. One afternoon, dark storm clouds covered the sky. Powerful winds crashed into the island, tearing apart their shelter. Instead of running, Dean protected the signal fire while Emma gathered dry wood from inside the cave. As the storm cleared, a helicopter appeared in the distance. Dean threw green leaves onto the fire, creating thick white smoke. Emma waved a bright orange cloth as high as she could. The helicopter circled once, then turned back toward them. They had finally been seen. Hours later, a rescue team landed on the beach. Emma and Dean were safe at last. Returning home wasn't easy. Their families celebrated, but both knew the island had changed them forever. They had arrived as strangers. They left as two people whose courage, trust, and friendship had carried them through the hardest days of their lives. Sometimes, the greatest journeys don't just help us survive, they help us discover who we truly are. Months after returning home, Emma and Dean struggled to adjust to normal life. The busy cities, crowded streets, and constant noise felt completely different from the peaceful island they had called home. One day, they received an unexpected package. Inside was a map and a photograph taken by the rescue team. On the back was a handwritten note. Some islands keep their secrets forever. Curious, the two decided to visit the island one last time with a scientific research team. As they explored the hidden cave again, they uncovered an old metal box buried beneath the rocks. Inside were journals from a sailor who had survived there decades earlier. His final message read, "If you're reading this, the island gave you a second chance. Make your life count." Emma and Dean smiled, realizing their greatest treasure had never been the island itself, it was the courage, friendship, and hope they had discovered within themselves. They walked toward the beach as the sun set over the ocean, knowing some adventures never truly end.